The second major practice is living ethically, living in a way which fosters individual and collective well-being. And I would define as ethical, I would look particularly at our intentions. When we're trying to be ethical, what's really crucial is in our intentions. And I would define an intention as ethical to the extent to which we intend to foster the well-being of everyone, including ourselves. If we only seek to foster our own well-being, we fall into selfishness. If we only foster the well-being of others, we fall into sacrifice. Ethical living asks us to do both simultaneously. And there are 4 levels of ethical understanding. The first is the conventional one, which merely follows rules. Whatever the social conventions are, whatever the law says, you do that because that's what the law says. The second, postconventional level, looks at, well, what really works? It looks at, it's a very practical level. It reflects, it questions, what is most likely to be helpful? Then there's a third, transconventional, contemplative level, which appreciates something very profound about ethics. It appreciates that living ethically is a form of mind training. And to understand that, it asks that we look at our motivation, our state of mind, and what we find is that whenever we're tempted to act unethically, whenever we're tempted to act in a way which hurts anyone, if we turn inside at that time, what we'll find is that our mind is filled with painful, harmful motives and emotions like greed, hatred, jealousy, anger. And here's the kicker, if we act those out, we reinforce and strengthen them. So unethical action both springs from and reinforces and strengthens unhealthy, destructive qualities of mind. That's the bad news. But there's also good news. And the good news is that when we act ethically, when we act in a way in which we intend to enhance the well-being of everyone, including ourselves, if we turn our attention inward at that time, what we find is that our mind is filled with positive, healthy, enjoyable qualities and motives such as love, joy, generosity, compassion. And wonderfully enough, when we act those out, they are strengthened. So acting ethically heals and transforms the mind and cultivates the very qualities that we want and that are so essential to our well-being and the world's well-being. And then at the final level, the absolute level of ethical understanding, we recognize that acting ethically is actually an expression of who and what we are, that our true nature automatically seeks expression in ethical ways, in ways which help and heal everyone, because that is congruent with who and what we really are. That virtue, that ethics, that service, that contribution is simply understood as an appropriate manner of expressing our true nature. And at this final stage, ethics becomes an automatic, spontaneous, joyful expression of who we are and who everyone else really is.